This little guy here, sure, he knows about consistency, but in a sport where equipment is nerded over in agonizing detail, this cymbal-banging simian is a weight that doesn't show up on the scale. If mechanicals, flats, or illness derail your hard work, if you just keep smashing against the proverbial wall but just can't break through, well, then maybe that monkey on your back has gotta go.
What goes up must come down.
Let's hear it for the Aussie, Jared Rose!
We're 2 months down the road from Colorado. What would you have done differently there?
I think next time I go to a venue that is at elevation, I'm gonna get there right before. Hopefully I feel better at elevation, pushing it. This is the third year I'll be rolling into Winter Park, Colorado. In 2012, I won the Enduro. It wasn't EWS, but I won it. And then in 2013, and felt really good, confident, and like shit the bed. I had a bit of an issue with a rock. It's the only home court advantage in a way, only one in USA. Yeah, I like that one. Expecting big things.
But when the dust settled in Colorado, expectations for big things would turn into something else. Realizations that there would be no home field advantage. Recognition that this wasn't the result hoped for. And an acknowledgement that it's gonna take more.
The men that are racing at the top level of enduro right now, they're just unbelievable athletes. They're so inspiring to watch, and they are, for the most part, they're such great people and amazing all-around athletes.
It's insane like how much it's really changed just since like last year. And even the year before that, in 2012, I did my first proper Enduro, which is at the end of the year in Finale in Italy. I ended up taking third there. Thinking back now, like some of the days I put together, like I would have won that race, you know? It's like now, oh no, you get a 12th.
Tom.
It's no surprise by now that things are getting faster and more competitive. What's interesting is that even the guys pushing the pace the hardest feel the pressure.
This year's definitely been pretty different feeling to last year, because last year I was happy with like top threes and just wanting to get consistent results and didn't have any pressure on myself to win. I wanted to win, and now this year I feel like I really just want to win, and it's probably not been as enjoyable as far as, you know, just purely enjoying each round, because I do feel a lot of pressure on myself. I put a lot of pressure on myself to win.
You'd be forgiven if you thought Enduro was about all-out speed. Flashes of brilliance make for great video, but it doesn't win races. And here at Elevation in Colorado, maybe more so than any race of the EWS season, consistency and energy management are the buzzwords on the lips of most riders.
I feel like that is maybe one thing that us few cross-country riders trying to do this have an advantage in, is we know what our body needs for fuel and how much it has to give over the course of a, you know, couple days of practice, couple days of racing, just a whole event. And even within the stages, I think folks that are more used to, you know, downhill, their skills are amazing, but they're still learning the whole pacing and energy management things. So I bring a lot of snacks, I drink a lot of water, and I see a lot of people not doing that, and then they seem tired later. So yeah, who knew?
Curtis has the craziest brake pad of any bike I've ever worked on in 10 plus years of working on bikes. His brake levers as far away as they can get, the least amount of, we call it deadband, which is like the free movement of the brake lever when you're pulling it. Basically, he doesn't want the brake to move, and it's as far away from the handlebars as we can make it.
Anyone that hops on my bike, it's like, how do you ride with this thing, man? Like the levers are so far out, I feel like I get arm pump. Or like they're hard to reach for a lot of people.
90% of the time he's on metallic brake pads. We work really hard to make sure it stays the same all the time, and the metallic pads are a little more consistent. It's a harder brake, it's more aggressive. You basically get more initial bite with a metallic pad. They don't deal with well with heat because you're generating more heat with the brake pad, but they're much more longer lasting. So if you're riding in rainy or wet conditions, you want to use that metallic pad because that's going to be your long wearing option. An organic is a softer pad compound. It's better in high heat applications where your brakes get hot. They're not as grabby, so they don't have as much like initial power. But they're also a little bit faster wearing because they're not as hard of a material. Honestly, most riders, you bolt the brakes, they put the angle that they want, and they just ride the brake. That's just the way it is. Like, say Nico Vouilloz, for example, he likes his reach in a little further, and so you're actually doing less work trying to brake. You kind of see that a little bit more, especially in enduro, because you're doing longer runs, you need to save your hands, you need to be able to make it down. I don't know how Curtis makes it down with his setup, but it works for him. Maybe he doesn't ever use them.
Competitive mountain biking for the past 15 years has been dominated by Europeans, and being the FA meant you might be the fastest from the US. But it was also a not-so-subtle jab that maybe the Americans weren't in the mix for the podium. But maybe, after Winter Park, being the fastest American is a little different.
Richie and Mitch, like, stoked for him. Not surprised at all. I know Mitch really well. That kid can ride a bike. Was I surprised? Nope, not at all. I've always thought, and other people that supported him over the years, they know he has the potential. Like, kid can ride a bike just as good as any of those top World Cup guys, without a doubt. But putting it together in a run, it's hard, man. It's not easy. Happy for him. It was awesome. It was great to see. Richie, same thing. Like, he's been trying to piece it together all year. He has his speed. He's prior Junior World Cup champion. Maybe he's had some bad luck and he's just trying to figure it out as well, and he figured it out that weekend. He crushed it. You know, got second. That's good to see too. I like Richie. There's no feeling for me personally like, what the hell? Like, how did these guys come in and do that? Like, not at all. Yeah, it's like, it's, you know, it's just everyone has different things going on with their life and racing, and you know, like I said, if it was easy, everyone would do it.
Australia, France, Scotland, Switzerland, New Zealand, and now America have all stepped onto EWS podiums this year. Riders from outside the traditional mountain bike powerhouses can be successful in this sport. 2 Americans in the top 5 here in Colorado proves that it can be done. But it also raises questions. What does Curtis need to do to have a similar breakthrough? What's the trick for getting that monkey off your back?